Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone. What's going on?
Hey, everybody.
Where's it going?
Casey, if you need a few more of those, I'll just I'll pass them right through the screen to you. All right.
I got 10 more. We're good.
Line them up.
I got some in the primetime fridge for you if you need some.
Yeah.
But my dad had like the mini fridge like in his closet. He couldn't be bothered to like walk to the
when we move, I kid you not, because we bought a 2-story. To get to our bedroom, you have to walk through the house, past the kitchen, all the way around, up the steps, and then back through the house. I told Kate, I'm like, there's going to be at least 2 mini fridges on the upstairs. There's no way in hell I'm getting out of bed to go all the way downstairs to get a drink every night. No. And our dogs that have to go to the bathroom every 10 minutes, I'm putting a trampoline outside and they're going right out the window and they can walk right back in and up because I'm not going downstairs every 30 minutes for them. Nope.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Gotta keep what you need close to you.
Problem solving. That's what I've learned. What have you learned the most from being a reseller? Problem solving. That's what I've learned.
For sure. Okay. Well, everyone, if you don't know these guys, Julian's my co-host, so he's here every week with me. Casey and Dom, I have their links down in the description. Hopefully you know both of them. So thank you guys both for coming on. I appreciate it. We were talking, and I'm not going to talk about it while we're on here. We were talking about the election results. I have them up on my TV as well. So I appreciate everybody coming by. If you guys want to introduce yourself real quick, I can pop you up and let you. Do you want to go big or just say hi? And I mean, like I said, I would assume probably most everybody knows who you guys are, but just in case.
Go ahead, Casey.
Whoa, don't put me first. What's wrong with you?
All right, fine. I'm Casey, the Rockstar Flipper, and I've been on.
Yeah. Tonight I'll be Dom. No, we were just, I think everyone, thank you for taking time not to watch the election. I'm not even watching it the first 2 hours. The first 2 hours, I don't even care. Just tell me who won. Can't they just have a guy like in the NBA draft come out on the stage and be like, with the first draft pick? Like, can't we just have that? Like, here's your winner.
We're here to distract you.
Yeah, we're here to distract. What's up, Noel? I just saw Noel pop in the chat.
Thank you for Noel. Thank you for dropping that. I love the 2020 super chat because that's just the greatest thing ever, right?
Yep, it is. 2020 of her.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for having me on, and I love being with everybody and taking time. I'm trapped up in the house all day with nothing else to do, so it's good to talk to people. And occasionally, Dom, I talk to him sometimes.
Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Dominic. I go by Primetime Treasure Hunter, and I was largely influenced a long time ago to come onto YouTube by this guy. Right over here. So
bad choice.
I gotta give him credit for that, and it's been a fun ride since. And I do a lot of estate sale videos, haul videos, tip videos, live show interviews, thrift battles, all sorts of things. And I have a Facebook group as well, which Casey also influenced me on. So. Mine is called
getting big. How many people now? It's getting big.
It's 22,000 people now, which is insane.
22,000.
Yeah, but it's not. Casey's is 117,000, so it's nothing compared to that.
You can have them, and if people are watching this, it's all you.
But
it's the light of my life.
Yeah. So I don't know, Casey. We're starting to look more alike every year. I think. I don't know.
I got that.
It's getting closer.
It must be like a reselling thing.
It is. You seen Steve Reagan lately?
Yeah.
That's true.
There's a super chat. I just saw it come over.
Leroy, what's what? So thank you. I appreciate that.
Anybody who doesn't know, I'm Casey, and I resell all day long, not just in the prime time, in case anyone was curious about that. Typically, in the last few weeks, I haven't resold anything. I'm a complete failure because I had to empty my house to sell it to people, and we're putting stuff in storage, and sales suck right now. So October was my worst month ever. Everyone else complained about October. I can't give you a fair answer because I didn't do any work. That's the best I got because I was worried about my house. I spent 3 weeks remodeling. Dom saw it. Spray painting rocks. I swear to God, we spray painted the rocks outside because buying new white ones was like $400. I'm like, turn them over and spray paint them. I'm not kidding. So that's what we did. We bought $25 in spray paint and spray painted all the rocks. I pressure washed them. They didn't come clean. I'm like, spray paint them. So that was my October reselling. So I'm trying to get back to normal. We have to move out after this month. So at some point I'll get back to normal. We'll see.
Now are you doing your wholesale and stuff still or not even?
Yeah. Well, we bought in April, May. So in June we bought a tractor trailer load. It was over 100,000 pieces. I didn't know that's how much it was when I bought it, but it took 9 weeks to process and sort and either redonate trash or resell in wholesale boxes. So right around like August, the end of August, first couple weeks of September, we were finishing it up. We had all the boxes. We ended up selling about 250 total boxes, anywhere from 30 or 40 pieces to 60 and 70 pieces in some boxes. And then at the end of September is when we ran out of that. So September was really good for sales because I sold all the boxes. And then we made about $25,000 in 2 months off of that. It was a lot of work, don't get me wrong. And then, a boatload of work. Would I do it again? Maybe. And then, so that's when sales stopped. And then of course I kind of timed it, knowing when we were listing the house and getting the work done for October. And so that's what we've been busy doing all, into September, October. So yeah, sales were good in September leading up to this month, but last month was just terrible. But I
did you expect it to sell that fast? Because it sold really fast, right?
Yeah, because I put the stuff that we were buying when I'm a reseller, if I'm buying, because I didn't do mystery boxes, I put what they were, like 50 men's button downs and polos, mixed brands, Nike, Adidas, Reebok, etc. And then we took 4 or 5 pictures. You didn't get to see every single item, of course, but pretty good idea of what you were getting. We sorted all the stains and damage through all 15 or 20,000 pieces we sold. Literally maybe 2 complaints over some damaged or stained pieces, which I just replaced. And if I'm buying stuff like that as a reseller, I want to pay what, $2 a piece, $2.50 delivered. So that's what we priced it at, and it sells fast. I was into it, being fully transparent, probably 30 cents a piece.
Yeah.
I mean, so for me, I'm not trying to make $10 a unit. I mean, nobody wants to buy that and flip it, because if my customers buy boxes and they don't make any money on it, what good does that do me? So
right.
For those of you who did not see it, you should definitely go by Casey's videos and his Instagram to see this picture of him standing inside of his storage unit he'll bring it up on his phone with a mountain of clothes so high that I have never seen before. It was crazy. And he's like, "Oh no, what did I do?" And it was in the summertime, so it was like there's no air conditioning in there. Yeah. It's brutally hot. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know how he's gonna pull this off." But I knew you would. But it's amazing.
We bit off more than we can chew. I won't lie when I do stuff like that. Like here's one of the pictures, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, It took 3 grown men almost 2 full days to unload the trailer because it was only in donated bags and not in Gaylords. So we couldn't just forklift them off. We had to by hand, throw them down. My dad would back his truck up, his F-150 up, and we just load the F-150 off the trailer, and then he would drive his truck into the storage building that I have, and then we'd unload it off that and then pull the truck. It took 80 truckloads to do. So
now, at what point during that did you start to get concerned, okay, maybe we got a little too much here?
Well, so we realized immediately that we couldn't work in the warehouse because it was 100 degrees the day we unloaded, and we were dead. I went through 3 shirts. I'm like, we have to drive this stuff home. And I don't have a truck. I have an SUV. And I was like, all right. So I pulled the SUV in and I loaded the SUV up. I stuffed it. And then I drove it home. And when we got home, we had 40 or 50 bags in the SUV. And that was a good day's work because we were getting through anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 pieces a day. And that was what it was filling. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I did the math. I'm like, well, 10,000 pieces a week, 5 or 6 days a week, we can get this done in 8 to 10 weeks, which is what we did. But when I knew that it was a lot of work was when we got home and finished the first day, and I drove back to the warehouse, and we did it 4 or 5 days in a row, and it didn't even look like we put a dent in it. I'm like, God. Like,
And I was curious, what did it smell like in there with that heat and those clothes? Was it like a thrift store times like 100?
yeah, the tractor trailer, when we unloaded it, when he opened the doors, I was a clear 8 feet and I smelled the thrift store, like bonkers. There was no worries of bugs because if they were in there, they were dead. Gone.
Well, yeah. And people don't even, a lot of people don't realize what that thrift store smell is. That's in every store. I mean, it's just a combination of body sweat and
Oh God.
colognes, perfumes. That's what it is, all combined into it. It's disgusting, and it's just all just hanging there.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever smelled, a thrift store piece that you've gotten in, just like an individual piece, and just think about thousands of those pieces just piled in one enclosed place.
Together.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And I'll tell you, here's the thing. When you have it, that truck came from West Virginia, the West Virginia border, and it drove to Florida overnight from the night we bought it and wired the money to the next day. And it was, like I said, 100 degrees in Florida that day. I can't even imagine how hot it was in that trailer, 110, 115. And then we unloaded it into a warehouse that was a steel building that traps the heat. It was bonkers.
Right.
So there you go. Yeah.
We could probably talk about this all night.
I know. I don't recommend it. I'll tell you. So everyone always asks the breakdown. The cost of the clothing was like 14 cents a piece. I paid $1,400 for $100,000, or for 100,000 pieces. And then I paid more for the truck to get it here. The truck to get it here was like over $2,000. I think it was like 2,400. I think I was like 37 or 38 all in. So, that put me at 38 cents, and that's where the cost comes in. And then, I paid help to unload the truck. So I just put it at like 40 cents a piece was my cost.
Yeah, with labor. Did you is that from connections or like that you've built up like over time to get like the truckload like that? I do not want a truckload of clothes.
Yeah, that wasn't even a connection I would per se, because I do have some regular connections, like people that will call me. This was a random call I got from a thrift store that was closed for COVID for 4 months. And of course, when they're closed, they're not selling what's in the store. They had like a 4,000 square foot store. And so everything that was being donated, they didn't bother to sort it because there was nowhere to put it in the store. So they just piled it inside of one of those, shipping containers in the back of the store. And so that's what they filled up, was the shipping container with the merchandise that they couldn't put out. And they just got overwhelmed, and they called and they were like, our shipping container's full. We can't take donations. We've got to get rid of this. So it was essentially raw. We call it raw donations. It had not been touched, which is kind of bad. So, and this was lesson learned, because our guess, I knew that 50% was going to be garbage. I knew that right off the top. I'm like, 50% is gone. So that left 50,000 pieces. And then I'm like, out of the 50%, what is going to be good brands versus bad brands? And by garbage, I mean that was all the trash and stain stuff that we couldn't salvage gone. So then I'm like, out of 50%, let's say half of that is sellable, 25,000 pieces. Well, if I can get $2 to $3 a piece, I can make 50, 60, 70 grand. And I'm only spending, $4,000 or $5,000 to get it down here. And then I paid some labor, every week to help out. I'm like, that's a great turnaround for 2 months, $5,000 plus a couple thousand in labor, even 10,000 with boxes and storage and all that into 50,000 in 2 months, 40,000 profit. Well, the actual percentage of what we kept was not 25,000 pieces. It was like 15,000 pieces. So
that's an important point, though, because a lot of people don't factor that in when especially if they're doing a first-time bulk buy. They don't understand that there's going to be a certain percentage of that stuff that's going to be damaged, and you just can't do anything with it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. And that was raw. That's as raw as you can get, thrift store. And so I would imagine that expecting 10 to 15% of raw thrift is probably a fair assessment. That's what we got. If you can get something, let's say somebody's closing a thrift store and they want to sell the contents that are inside, which I've had presented to me, that's a better ratio, because even though they may not have all the best brands, at least if it took the time to hit the store shelves and the racks, that it's a pretty good chance very little of it's going to be damaged or stained. So you have a better chance.
Yeah, that I think that's like the pallets. That's why I quit doing that. Like, it's so much trash and it takes too much time to go through that stuff. Unless it's like overstock stuff, then it's a little better, but you're still getting the crap that didn't sell. So
yeah. You really have to, like, because, you know, when you're not getting a manifest, you have to use your best thought process of, if this was me, what percent of the stuff do I think would be good, and really go worst case scenario, like really worst case it.
Yeah, because I have stuff and I haven't bought a pallet in over a year that's sitting here that hasn't sold. I mean, I made money on it, and it's decent stuff, but nobody wants it. So at least not shipped. It's some bigger stuff, but
yeah.
I told Casey I wanted to kind of like touch on, and Dom too, and Julian, like Casey had his live with like no excuses. He was tired of excuses. And I'm kind of the same way. And now my sales were crap last week, but it happens, you know, like my 90 days still on point, but like I'm not gonna blame it. Like it might be my impressions were down. I know eBay and their lovely changing stuff around in Q4 drives me nuts. So that might have been a little bit of it, but I'm not, you know, gonna blame them for it. So it's just, you know, you got to keep pushing through. I wanted, like, how do you guys, like, well, Casey, you have no sales now, so are you like planning what you're doing when you're coming up, or?
Yeah, we've been stocking a lot of inventory and just having it ready. I know it's not the best scenario to move it all, but I'm really the person that doesn't like to turn down really good deals. Like the bulk purchasing is one thing, but I'll give you an example. A week and a half ago, so it would have been a week ago Friday, we bought a box of 250 like polos, shirts, button downs. We paid $2 a piece, $500 delivered. And there's Patagonia, North Face, Nike, a couple Robert Grahams. I mean, there's things in there that, you know, $30, $40, $50 pieces. I'm going to be able to sell 10 pieces, 15 pieces, and probably get the money back out of 250 pieces. How do you turn that down, right? So for me, selling is easy. It's just keeping the flow of inventory coming in and cash flow. If you're getting boxes with, you know, 200, 300, 150, you know, good pieces, even if some percentage of it's not great, but you're listing Robert Grahams and button downs, or you're, you know, I had a guy who, this wasn't me, but he bought a box from a guy of 140 snapback hats, like trucker hats, John Deere, a San Antonio Spurs vintage hat. He's listing these hats for $25, $35, and he paid like $3 a piece for them delivered. You're getting that kind of inventory. It's just a matter of just do the work and get it up. Like, don't make the excuse. If you do it, the money will come. I mean, you know, it's pretty much that easy. And then as far as planning, like with my sales being down, we did all the wholesale. That was fine. I was good with that. Obviously, I have money stacked up. We'll do a big blitz, like hopefully next month, and we'll list like 1,000 items in a month. If me and Kate sit down and plug away, we can put up 200 and 300 items in a week.
Yeah, Dom, what about you as far as motivation? And like Dom has Mrs. Primetime helping now, which I'm sure is awesome. Is she still helping list with her Disney stuff?
Yeah, she's specifically been doing her Disney pins and Disney items from the lots that she picked up at Shop Goodwill. So she's kind of gone down a little bit with that recently because she's just been doing some other things around the house and stuff. But she has been pretty consistent, at least getting something up every day. But yes, that is helping though with her doing that. But for me, you know, I really, it's one of the things that I've always, you know, enjoyed about watching Casey, which is that he doesn't make excuses and that he just gets it done, and he takes responsibility for stuff and just finds a way to plow through it. No matter what the heck is going on. And so, and that's always been my approach. It's the same type of thing. So, you know, everyone has times where sales could be slower. There's ups and downs and stuff. But, you know, I could take any week during the year, and Casey knows this, could go on any Facebook group and find somebody who makes the following post. Hey, are sales slow this week? Have anyone noticed the sales are slow? And then 50 other people chime in and say, yeah, my sales are slow. My sales are slow. And then people just feel like, oh, well, it's, you know, not anything we're doing. It's, you know, it's eBay's doing that to us or something. And then they kind of just feel defeated and they're not taking charge of the things they could take charge of. A perfect example was I don't want to ruin it, but the video I just put out just a few hours ago about taking charge over stale items in your inventory and finding a way to not feel trapped by them and coming up with a creative way to take control, take charge, and that I did, and that resulted in 5 quick sales within an hour. But those are the types of things you have to do. You have to find a way to take charge, take control, and just find a way around it and be able to troubleshoot where problems might be. You know, if you're having problems with photos, and it's the same thing with running a YouTube channel. You know, if you're not performing as well as you think you should, you've got to find out what's wrong. Do you need to improve your thumbnails? You know, do you need to improve something about what is off with your performance? And you got to be honest with yourself. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't realize, oh, my titles stink, or my pictures are not good, or my descriptions aren't good, whatever. You know, my prices aren't good. I'm not even spending any time researching it. I'm just throwing up a price. So you got to do some self-analysis and be honest with yourself about what's going on.
Yeah, I always like the people that say if it's not broken, don't fix it. But if it's not working and it is broken, fix it. The people that tend to keep coming back with those same, oh my God, I'm not selling, it's not working. What did you do different from this week that you didn't do last week, and vice versa, and etc. And they're like, oh, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, you're gonna have the same damn results. Like, it's not
right. But that doesn't mean obviously that things don't change externally. Like markets change, things that people want change over time, values change. But that's the thing, though. You've got to be able to shift your business model in relation to what's going on in the outside world. You've got to be able to recognize that and be able to change and adjust. It's one of the reasons that I think that Casey always has in the beginning of his videos, where he says everything changes.
Everything, yeah, that's all.
And that's so important. Every time I see that, even though I've seen that 1,000 times, every time I see it, I'm like, yep, that's right. You always have to keep that in mind.
I'm going to start putting my intro at the thing, and then I'm going to send it to Dom in a text message every day or whatever.
Every day. Good morning.
I have to listen to it 35 times a day, because when I edit videos, I keep, doing the playback, and I keep wanting to can you just, Casey, save it right at the right volume and everything, so you don't have to listen to it again and just drop it.
Over and over. Now, Julian Kayla helps you source a little sometimes. She doesn't do any listing on your store. She sells too, right?
You're right. Yeah. And I just keep my head down, and I've been buying more stuff in bulk because I'm new at this. So the more I can get in, because I can list pretty good, be fairly focused throughout the day. So I just had to get more inventory in at once, because a lot of things have been selling lately. So I just lost a lot of inventory, and I didn't have any type of backup. So I did get my hands on a whole bunch in the last 3 days. So I'm ready to start listing again.
Yeah, that's important to keep the inventory flow coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get to the point where you run out and then you're trying to scramble, because every time you run out of inventory is when you can't find a damn thing. And when you have inventory stacked to the ceiling, you're not in the listing mood. So it's
that happened to me. I'm not kidding. I kind of ran out. I was looking around. I was like, you can always find stuff. And next thing you know, all the auctions were super high. Nothing on Facebook Marketplace. But I did run into 3 truckloads of stuff. So I'm pretty happy right now.
3 truckloads is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it was 3 truckloads of nonsense. I think I saved about 30% of it, but it was 30% was good.
Yeah, you just got to pay right then. At that point, it's all paying right. Because people are like, oh, you paid, to me, they're like, oh, you paid 15, 20 cents, 30 cents for, the whole truckload. I'm like, yeah, but when you end up taking away all the trash and then all the labor and the time, what did we actually pay for it? So that's where you have to keep that in mind. So.
Mm-hmm.
Brian says he'll hook you up. Him and his buying truckloads of stuff.
Brian has oh my God, I don't even understand it. He's got an eBay listing that says 600,000 items for sale, $3 million. I'm like, yeah, I'll be right up, man. On the way. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I tell Julian too, because Julian, I use Hybit a lot because I buy a lot of bulk stuff from the state auction. And I'm like, increase the radius, because I'll drive 2 or 3 hours. I drive down to Tampa a lot. I drove down to Fort Myers. If I'm going to make the money, I'll drive, go to the beach, for the weekend, hang out, pick up a bunch of stuff and come back. So I yell at Julian to increase his radius. And if you can't find stuff, you got to look.
You got to go out.
Yeah. There's a guy, I won't use his name because most people know him, but he lives in out west in Oregon, and he drives into California once a week with his box truck. I think it's 4 hours round trip, 5 hours. He drives 2.5, each way. And then when he sits there, they load his truck up for 2 hours. So it's an all day round trip. But every time he does that once a week truckload, it's anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 in profit once a week. So he's doing right now. Last month he did about 80,000 with 50% margins.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I mean it's worth it. That's what I'm saying. Like if I'm making a few grand for driving 4 hours,
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Dom, you're doing mainly your estate sales, right? Do you I know you've been getting a few lots off Shop Goodwill, but do you do any other anything? I mainly see the estate sales. Do you source any other way? Oh, flea markets too.
Over the summertime, I hit up the flea market. Although this year was pretty disappointing overall. I mean, I did still get some good scores, but it was just significantly decreased due to COVID, which surprised me a little bit, but that's just how it was. Garage sales were okay. But just like Noelle said in the chat, she's never going to run out of inventory. And I have so much inventory at this point anyway that, at this point, it's not really worth it for me to go driving around to 100 different garage sales. So I really try to focus now more on places where I know that the inventory is going to be consolidated. So it's more efficient. It's a better use of my time. So that's why I hit up the estate sales primarily. Plus, people watch my channel really love the estate sale videos. So that's another thing. But I just love it too. It's my favorite thing. But I still though will hit up some garage sales. But that tends to be more now if it's on the way to an estate sale or on the way back, or if it's a community garage sale thing. But Kat, I am buying more. We are buying more lots online. So Mrs. Primetime has bought a lot of Shop Goodwill lots ever since the interview with you. And I also, if you go into my store, you're going to see a lot of high-end exclusive pieces that I purchase off of high-end auctions. And then I increase the price on those. They're unique items, like they're art pieces or single highest graded certified comic books, things like that. So I've invested a lot into that stuff this year.
Targeted sourcing.
Yeah, very targeted.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my goals, to increase the ASP and find higher cost, higher selling stuff. You might sit on it longer to find the right buyer, but if you can make hundreds per flip versus dollars and mix that in with everything. Casey, how much would you say, you're still listing on eBay and stuff, right? How much is your, what would you say percent eBay versus wholesale that you're doing?
It went way different this year.
Now because of moving. But.
Yeah. We're going to end up doing on Shopify wholesale this year, 150,000 in sales gross. This is our first year on Shopify. We started in December. So we operate about 30% on that platform because we're not really touching a lot of that material except for the wholesale stuff is ours. That's about 30-40% of it. The rest of it is other people's stuff that we sell for them. As opposed to eBay accounts and Amazon and other stuff. Thank you. And it's probably at least 75% of that. I would say close to 100 grand. I would hope we still do six figures on those this year. I've had 3 months now that we haven't touched the platforms though, so it's tough. But yeah, we went, from last year doing 100. I think our two 1099s last year were 172,000 on those to 100,000. So you can see the drop off. But we replaced it with 0 Shopify last year to 100 and whatever 40 or 50 that we're going to do this year. So we'll still end up pulling out 250 to 300,000 between the two platforms, 70-30, 60-40, something like that. That's our main thing. But we operate 50% on the eBay, platform stuff, and then on the wholesale and all 25-30. Just depends. So
I don't know. Julian, if you want to answer first, I don't know if Casey's buying from online auctions really.
A couple times I haven't though.
Yeah. For me, I'll pay up. I paid $70 for one thing, which I know is not a ton, but it sold for $700 within a month. So, for me, that's a big purchase. I don't like to have $50 or $100 sitting that's going to take months to sell. Just not yet. Hopefully one day I'll get there because I'd like to make hundreds of dollars. But Julian, what would you say, the online auction as far as spend.
I mean, I did a big golf lot, and I think that was like $600, but it was a lot of money in profit. But if the product's good, I mean, you gotta know kind of what you're looking at, and then just make sure the profit's there, and you can really spend whatever you want as long as you know the profit's there. So if it's a really good product, like you said, if you want to spend 70 and make 700, that's decent. Like I said,
that's the equivalent of 25 normal $25 items.
Right. Yeah. So if you spend more money on better product, then you can get a better sales price. Then that's the way to go.
ROI.
Yep.
For sure. Dom, you got that big Disney lot. Like, what other, like, how much are you spending on the online auctions? Like, a lot, or do you have a limit?
Miss Primetime has been buying all those things on Shopify. So, well, that one lot that we bought, I think that was a that was like a $300 lot. There were 150 pieces in there. I did a video on it, unboxing it. They worked out to about $1.89 a piece. And within days, we had all our money back and we're in profit. We sold like several items for close to $100. And it was amazing. Like, we sold a Dumbo pin for $80. I sold a Magic Band for $100. There was something else I can't even remember. We sold for higher than that. So it was just nuts. So that just, we just continued from there for us to just continue to buy additional lots and stuff. With my targeted high-end purchases, though, I mean, that's all over the board. But I've spent as much as $1,000 in a night just buying stuff to just continue to put in like really top of the line, high quality inventory into my store. So it's real range from $9.99 items to $4,000 items. Like, it's all over.
Right.
Yeah.
Casey, do you need to run? I know you said you
No,
need to.
we're good. We're good for a little bit. Yeah, I was just taking care of it. We're good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and Dom, that's where, like, to have a $4,000 item, like the whole you got to spend money to make money is definitely true. And I think, like, for a lot of new people, though, you got to build up making that, income and your bankroll and your money that you've got, so you can buy stuff like that if that's your goal. But it takes time.
100%. And those also have to be items and pieces that you really know well. Like, that area, like it's a niche area that you're very familiar with, that you're comfortable making that investment in, and even comfortable keeping it for a while, just to either if it's a collectible, which would tend to be something like that, that you don't mind holding on to it, looking at it for a while, displaying it, which is perfect for me with my comic inventory. Like, I don't mind looking at it for a while it's being displayed, and if it sells, it sells. I'm a temporary gatekeeper.
I don't like looking at it.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah. So, but for those collectible things that you like, you have to. It's a good thing, especially for people who are new watching, because, Miss Primetime, my wife, she's been doing this with me for a long time, but not really like doing things like purchasing lots and stuff, and getting in things in big lot amounts. And so she had some Disney stuff come in. She loves Disney stuff, and she's looking through it, and she's like, oh, I love this pin. I want to keep this pin. Oh, I love this item. I want to keep this item. And she kept saying that and saying that. I'm like, you got to go into it just saying you're not going to be emotionally invested to the item. This is business. Keep it business. You want to buy something personal for yourself, buy something personal for yourself, and just say this is a personal purchase. But, because if you do that, you're going to wind up hanging on to all these items, and you're just going to, you're not going to make as much as you otherwise would have.
And you'll like the more expensive stuff, right? Because that's just
right.
how it looks.
Exactly.
That's why it was a huge problem for me with video games when I was like a huge video game. Yeah. And I don't even get time to game. Like, me being a gamer is a joke because I don't get a chance. But I loved bringing them all in because I'm like, ooh, Donkey Kong. Ooh, Kirby's Dream Land.
That's right.
It was on. I'm like,
did you see Casey now they grade video games?
Yeah. I saw some of the case stuff, like the original Nintendo Championship carts and the Mario's all in the cases. Yeah.
Are they doing it like the baseball cards, Dom, or football?
It's like that, and like comics. Yeah.
Yeah, they can rank the box if you have the original box, and if not, they'll rank the label. Like on the cartridge, the label and the artwork. They'll rank they rate everything. Yeah.
Yeah, people pay up for that stuff. It's crazy. You should the amount of money, by the way, you should see that people purchase comic book art. You would not believe it. I'm talking tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars people are purchasing comic book art, original art.
I will give you two huge bolos that Dom knows both of, I'm sure. So long while back, our friends Keith and Star, they had bought, Keith found a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons books, like the hardcover books. Yeah. And I think it was like $3 a piece, wherever it was. And I'm like, buy them, please buy them. They were $30, $40, $50 a piece. And we ended up selling a bunch of them. Well, one of them that he got was just the artwork of Dungeons and Dragons. That particular book, I think we sold for 120, maybe 130. That one book was worth, more than almost what he paid for the whole thing. The second one, which is huge, we're nerds, this is the only video game we play, is World of Warcraft. I've played it since I was like 16. But World of Warcraft has a bunch of artwork books too, and a bunch of artwork lithographs, and those things are worth hundreds, if not thousands, for some of them, as long as they're not reproductions. But even we saw an autographed one sell a couple months ago for like $3,300. We saw the non-autographed version of it sell for like $600. It was a hardcover, real thick with all the original artwork. That stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see, I can't buy that stuff because if I had been the one buying those Dungeons and Dragons books, I would have kept them. I wouldn't have sold them. At least the artwork one. I'm into like all the artwork. The Disney artwork books are cool. I'll collect those. But I have a MASH. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a big MASH fan, the TV show. People don't realize that Alan Alda, the main character of that show, his wife was the photographer for the show. And she created a book called MASH Behind the Scenes Photography. I own the book in there, and it's probably worth $50. I won't sell it.
Right. Yeah, and there's some stuff. Collectors, and that's the thing that I've tried to like point out, because I have a lot of the collectibles. Like, people that collect typically aren't gonna be impacted by all the financial stuff going on. So like, I'm still selling $100 dishes while everybody's like, no, the economy's crap. The people that are collecting a lot of the stuff I have are set financially, so those sales keep rolling in no matter how crappy everything is, because they're collecting it. I bought somebody Budweiser signs, and he had 800. He already had 800. Never opens the boxes. Just wants them, and I'm like, okay, like I'll sell you as many as I have. But like, people like that don't care.
That's true.
You've got enough money for 800 where you've got hundreds of dollars tied up in each one, if not thousands. I mean, even at like $300, you're talking about somebody that's got, 6 figures tied up in a collection. They're good.
That's the thing you have to be careful about when, like I was going back to what I was saying earlier with comments in Facebook groups about, hey, does anyone notice sales are slower? My sales aren't good and stuff. Well, and then people write back, well, it's the economy or this and that, and sure, there's these things that factor into it for certain segments, but there's the bottom line is there's people out there spending money, just like Casey said. There's people out there spending big money on things. I just I just saw the other night people spending tens of thousands of dollars or more on comic art. So if there's people out there doing that, there's people out there with money to spend it on other things. You have to, if your stuff isn't selling, you've got to adjust and look into different areas to diversify. I do that every year. Not only do I diversify what I'm selling, I diversify where I'm sourcing it from. So that's real important. Like those Disney pins, Kat. I mean, every place I've gone to for sourcing, garage sales, rummage sales, estate sales, wherever, you name it, flea markets, I've never come across that amount of Disney items in one collection like that. Like, so
right.
You got to go out to other places.
Yeah, you got to expand what you're selling, where you're getting it from, and you got to, like you were saying, you have to adjust and like change your business model. Everybody that was only sourcing from thrift stores this year got a slap in the face when everything was shut down. Right. Like they couldn't do it. And me, like, I just kept on rolling. I do go to thrift stores, but it's definitely not my primary source. I probably will never have, one big thing, because if that changes, you better have a different way to get your stuff. You got to have plan B.
So plan B, look, that lady that sold us the tractor trailer messaged me. I looked back through my messages the first week of February. In fact, I remembered at Valentine's dinner with Kate, actually, And of course, this is before everything closed down. I remember texting with the lady, and I told her, hey, I'd love to buy the tractor trailer. Of course, right around the first week of February is when people started getting that little bit of maybe something bad's going to happen. And I said it to Kate that week. I was like, man, if things go, if it hits the fan, we're going to wish we had all this inventory. But even better, a whole bunch of other idiots that didn't get inventory are going to need to get inventory from somewhere. And I literally secured that tractor trailer like a week or two later at the end of February. I messaged that lady, first week of March. I was like, all right, we'll take it. But, because she was already stacked up and she was concerned the store was going to have to close right then. And she closed right then, the first week of March. And she goes, we're going to stuff this full for you over the next month and sell it to you. I'm like, she's like, because we have to close. We're closing. I'm like, all right, done. Well, she ended up filling it all of March and all of April. That's when she gave us 2 months to fill it. And that's when it was perfect. It came on down the road and I was like, yeah, like I predicted all that. I knew it was going to happen. I had it already, but not really. But it was a good guess where I was like, man, if everywhere else shuts down, people are going to need to get inventory. And so I did it, but it was luck. It was a little bit of luck, but for sure, always have places lined up. And if nothing else people take from this, create a contact list, an email list, a Rolodex, whatever the hell you want to call it. Have a list of people that you can call when things get, slow and be like, hey, Dom, what do you got any extra shirts you want to unload? Hey, Kat, you got any shirts? Hey, Star, do you have any jeans you want to get rid of? Because they may not want to mess with all this stuff. You'd be surprised how many people be like, yeah, I got like 40 pairs of jeans I'll sell you for like $80. All right, sweet. You don't got to get all 10,000 pieces from one person. Keep everyone's information and call everyone.
Casey, you'll be proud of me. Right now, literally right before you said that, you could check the timing on it. I literally sent a message to Mr. Buys a Lot in the chat, and I said, hey, if you ever get any comic stuff in, you need to let me know. So I'm already working Mr. Buys a Lot as you're saying that.
Yeah, Brian gets some great stuff. I'll say my answer for something different. And if you guys want to pipe in, like how much capital really depends on your business plan, what you're doing, what point you're at in it. Like mine's rolling because I'm gonna, try and have money for bigger buys. But if you're just starting, like I all last year reinvested every penny I made, went back into the business to build it up. So it depends. That's just a loaded question and really individualized to me.
Yeah, discipline. If you are on limited capital, you have to discipline yourself. Otherwise, if let's say you're operating on $400 or $500 and you keep reinvesting, what you can make on $400 and $500 unless you get lucky is limited. You can make good money with $400 and $500, but you can't ever build it to, doing $10,000 and $15,000, $20,000 profits unless you are reinvesting everything. Because if you're spending $500, let's say you're even really good at flipping and you're turning it into 2 and 3 times your money over the course of a month, you're making, $1,500, but then you're going out and spending 1,000 of it. You're right back at the 500 that you started with. You're never going to get bigger. And discipline, for people, I always say like 2 months ago, you didn't have this 1,500 in profit every month. So what were you doing? Whatever it was you were doing to pay the bills and live, keep doing that and pretend like the 1,500 doesn't even exist. Just keep rolling it into the business. You have to. I can remember those days of like having no capital and being like, oh, like how am I going to buy it? People would offer me a box for like $800 and I'd be like, I don't know how I'm going to buy it. I'll figure it out though. Like, yeah, reinvest every penny. I still reinvest and I don't have to because I'll get a deal that's like $3,000 and I'm like, whoop, 3,000 right back into it. Don't even take it. Like whatever. It'll be worth more than $3,000 to me in a month. So why not do it?
Yeah. Julian, how much I know you're paying your bills with this and you're brand new at it. So, well, not brand new. You're probably
basically pay my bills and reinvest like literally everything else right now.
And do you try and like save up? So for those big deals, like do you try and have a certain amount you have put up?
Yeah, I have enough where if like something came up, I could most likely buy it. It's so there is like I'm not reinvesting like everything that I own, but it is a good bit and a little bit of savings here, then splitting it up. But I reinvested a lot back into it, like a lot.
Brian, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, this lovely election night that we're not going to talk about because that'll be like a whole new tangent, but Dom, what would you say doing like part-time? Are you like reinvesting everything, or how are you like, do you have a certain amount you try and keep back?
He's bad advice because he's a rich doctor that makes tons of money and has all the money in the world.
I wish it was that simple, but, but
I saw your bank account. It's that simple.
it does help.
I did. I didn't see his bank account.
No, what I do is I basically have three main income sources. I mean, there's my full-time job at the hospital. There's my medical website / blog, and I make money through advertising on that, and people also pay me to put blog entries onto the medical blog. That's a big source. And then there's the reselling business and all the stuff that's tied in with that, like, the YouTube channel and stuff. I lump that all into one big thing. So what I do is I take that money that I bring in from those, from the reselling and from the medical website, separate that out from the full-time job stuff. And that all goes under one big umbrella for one big company called MedFriendly LLC. And at the end of the year, once I'm done with my taxes, I take half of the money and I pay myself with that. And I take the other half of the money and, like Kate said, I reinvest it into my business. So that money serves as money to buy, it's capital to purchase, for operating expenses, to buy collections, buy lots, get things at, shop Goodwill, that kind of thing. And also to just invest in, technological things that I need to, just continue to improve the functionality of the business, and also to have money on hand in case of emergencies, things that happen, like the flood.
The flood of the basement.
Yeah. In case people stop getting sick and they don't need a brain doctor person to analyze them anymore.
Right.
So here it is. How often does the hospital pay you? Are you like a bi-weekly or a weekly?
Once every 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Now I understand why it was a little lower than the original $100,000 bi-weekly that I guessed. So,
I forgot about that.
Dom's like, I've published like 49 books or something. He's like,
no.
They don't pay me enough for the medical books. They're like,
well, no, that is true. So like when you're working in an academic field and you're right, I did write 2 books. That is true. They're on Amazon. Don't buy them because you'll be bored half to death unless you want to fall asleep or something. But
how did you write them? So how did you write them if you fall asleep?
Well, no, for me it's interesting, but for the average person who's watched this, they're not going to think it's interesting. So, it is true. They do not pay you well at all for doing that type of thing. It's more just something just to do for your career and to contribute to the profession and stuff like that. So like one of the books is used in like for teaching, and like, people teach like their residents and fellows and students with the book. But in terms of how much you make off of it, like 5%, seriously, of everything. Like they'll give you an advance and stuff, but it's horrible. So, and you're investing so much time into it that it's just not worth it. So after I did the 2 books, I said, that's it. But I have published like a lot of journal articles and things like that. But those are also things you're not getting paid for, really. Although I did get paid for doing, sometimes if you develop a professional reputation academically, some people will pay you to come to their institution to do lectures. Those were actually fairly profitable. Like sometimes people would literally pay me thousands of dollars to go out somewhere to do a 1 hour lecture. It's crazy.
Yeah, speaking engagements are nuts. Yeah. I learned. Yeah. I actually got a breakdown. I'm not a fan of him, but everyone knows who Gary Vee is, and his book sales on the like Crush It books, even when they sold 1 million copies, he would get fronted 1 million copies, say at $20 a piece. So 20 million in sales, less publishing and rights and all that. He would make on that money like $2 or $3 a book if he was lucky. And it would turn out to be, whatever, it would turn out to be a few $100,000 out of 20 million in sales. He might get $400,000, $600,000, which is a lot of money considering it takes a few months to write. Well, his speaking arrangements for an individual set of speaking can be 10 to 20 grand a person. He did a tech talk in Tampa that I went to a couple years ago, and that tech talk paid him $150,000 for 2 hours. And I was like, holy, like he could have done a couple talks this month and made more than he made on the entire book sales for that year. So the speaking arrangements, once you get into certain, he's the top of the game, Billie Jean and him and this and that. But you look like the Obamas were charging $250,000 to do like TED Talks. $250,000 for a couple-hour talk. So even somebody like Doc doing a medical journal talk could be, like you said, a couple $1,000s. I was offered like $1,500 to appear on a virtual talk a couple months ago. I ended up turning it down for various reasons, but $1,500 for like an hour talk. So just in case you're counting, we're almost at an hour, so you know the bill that's coming.
You know the bill is. You know what he turned down, so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a comment in there that's not true, really. Technically, something different wrote. No one ever talks about their YouTube money. Casey's done videos about his YouTube
that's
money.
Right. Yeah. So I can tell you,
where'd that go?
Yeah. So I can tell. I tell everyone, and it's clear. I've screenshotted. I could almost screen. Could I screen share it here? I don't know. Anyways, the YouTube money for most YouTubers, and you can go to Social Blade, but it's way off depending on the genre. Most YouTubers, let's take video gamers, vloggers, pranksters, all the normal channels, they make anywhere from say $1 or $2 per 1,000 views up to like $4 or $5 per 1,000. So if you see a channel getting 1 million views a month, which is not what we get at all you have to do is divide it by 1,000. So that comes out to 1,000, and then they're making $3 or $4 per. So they might make $3,000 or $4,000 on 1 million views for the month because most genres are cheap. The financial industry, the reselling industry, any kind of things that remotely have to do with us and the mommy and me mommy vloggers, they get paid big too. We make, some people I know have $8 and $10 CPMs, and some of us have like 12, 14, 16, like bigger CPMs. So even if you take a fair value CPM of $10, most resellers only average a couple 100,000 views a month at the top end. You take somebody like me, you take a Lindy Glenn, you take a Rakin, you take a Rally, we're talking about 250 to 350,000 views a month, max. Call it 300,000, and at $10 per, that's $3,000 for the month. Most channels don't get that many views and don't have that kind of CPM. So for anybody that we're talking about, us here and most of the resellers that you talk to, it is less than $2,500, $2,000. People like me and the other people at the top end, there's been plenty of months that I've made $3,000 and $4,000, but none of us are making full-time income at all off YouTube. It is a nice chunk of change to get $2,500, $3,500, $3,200, $2,800. It's very nice. And there's been some months, a year and a half ago, I had a video go super viral, and that month I made $8,000. I've never duplicated it, ever. That one video got like 500,000 views in 1 month. It was great, but that's never happened ever again. So yeah, I mean, there's nice chunks of change, but for the average reselling YouTuber, they're probably not even making $1,000 a month. I know
right. So you've been doing it for how long?
5 years. It'll be 5 years in December for me. Yeah.
So people aren't looking at like all of this time that's invested. Like I just had like my biggest month in October, and it was $380.
There you go. I know the incomes of probably 20 or 30 YouTube reselling people. None of them are over $1,000 if I don't talk about the big people with, the 100,000 subs.
I'll just say it since it's everyone just saying there. So I've been about 2.5 years. A lot of work on my channel, almost 800 videos to just give you a sense of how much time.
A lot of work.
That's a ton of work. My subscriber count is okay. I'm coming close to 20,000. I'm almost at 19. Over the last few months, I've been between $1,000 and $1,200 a month.
And that's fair. I mean, for his size and the amount of videos and work, because the other thing you have to remember is Dom made a video a year ago that made like $50, but then every month subsequently, it is still in perpetuity making, say, $5 a month, $6 a month, whatever it is.
It adds up.
Yeah. And then so all of a sudden 10 or 15 of his videos are making $5 a month. He's making $100 just from videos that he made a year ago. So I have a video that's over a year old that I think it's like a year and a half old that makes like $30 a month every single month for like the last 18 months. That one video.
Right. Now, one thing I'm not factoring into that number, which has also helped, is that you could.
You're echoing all of a sudden. Does everybody else hear that? Dom's echoing.
Dom?
Or is it just me
Am I
hearing?
echoing?
I don't hear it.
No.
Okay, maybe it's just me.
Is that you can make money through, because I'm just talking about advertising money for the
Ad
1,000
revenue.
to 1,200, but of course there's other ways. So a lot of people are doing auctions on their channels or showing off items that they've sourced, and people are buying it that way. I make a lot of sales through that, more so over the last year or so. And the Chichingathon that I do on my channel, I mean, I sold 100 comic books 2 months ago for $1,200, if you remember that
was
auction.
crazy.
And then I sold another 100 the next month for $800. So there's $2,000 right there. That's not factored into what I'm telling you with those other monthly numbers. So there's other things that you could do to help generate the income. Merchandising is another thing. So I just started with that with the Teespring account, and that brought in like $300, last month, like profit. So that was good. A lot of people bought like Daisy gear and Primetime treasure hunter cups and stuff like that. But
yeah, it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary.
Yeah,
you have to add all these different lines to get to where it makes it something. And like for Julian, like Julian isn't monetized yet. And I mean that you got to put in the work, you got to continue putting in the work and just keep doing it. And like with our stuff, it has to stay like valid. So like what's selling, and like updating stuff, the prices and all of that and what you're finding. My friend has a YouTube channel. He hasn't made a new video in 3 years, but he does electrical help, and he's still making $400 a month, and he's doing nothing. He has done nothing for over 3 years. So, but for our genre, like what people are buying and the trends, like that's continually changing. So a lot of our videos, even though they're getting views, it's kind of become null and void, and you got to update, what's going on.
Yeah, an electrician of how to install a ceiling fan doesn't change. It hasn't changed in 20 years. So yeah, that video is always relevant to somebody that searches YouTube for how to change a ceiling fan, and so you can look it up. I probably generate millions of dollars for those people because I'm like, how to turn on a light switch. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to look this up. Give me a second. And I, like legitimately, I look up everything on YouTube. In fact, our house that just sold, this house, had an inspection on the roof, and we have a bunch of squirrels, and I guess squirrels chew at your vent pipes that are up out of the top of the house, and it's not code enforced to have any kind of cover over them. And our roof is brand new from last month that we replaced to sell the house, and the squirrels are up there chewing on it. So the inspector for the buyer noticed it and said, you need to buy these vent covers. And I'm like, okay, sweet. So they're like $30. I'm like, all right, we'll go buy the vent covers. And then I'm like, how do we put these on? And my dad's like, get on the roof. I'm like, no, I'm looking this up, like YouTube this, like no joke. I'm going to be climbing on my roof next week to put on vent covers to protect from the squirrels chewing away at it. Because I guess if they chew it away, it'll, water can get in it and whatever. So I'm like, all right, we'll do it. We'll take care of it. YouTube we go. So I watch everything on YouTube, but our genre changes and you have to update, and everything is constantly moving. With the other stuff, it's just generalized. I always wondered, like, why didn't I make just a more general channel? But I didn't know
like the how-to channels are staying valid. They're not having to update it.
I didn't know.
It's also more becoming more and more competitive in the reselling space on YouTube because there's so many more people now are creating channels, running live shows at the same time, running auctions at the same time. So there's a lot of, a lot of places where people are could potentially go. There's that to factor into it. The other thing is, when you're running a YouTube channel, is that if you think about it, I mean, you really do need people out there supporting you to keep it going, because when you're working on your YouTube channel, you're not working on your other aspects of your reselling business. You're not listing, you're not sourcing, you're not doing whatever. And there's stuff that for people who have never touched YouTube at all in terms of producing stuff, that you don't realize what goes on behind the scenes in terms of some of the technical stuff we have to deal with that goes wrong, ruining a video, multiple takes, recording things by accident without the audio on, or you're just something bad happens, and what looks like a 15-minute product sometimes took hours to make and put together and to edit and to join clips together, and it's just so much stuff. Things go wrong with the upload sometimes. There's just so many things that it's tough. It's a lot of time, and sometimes you do things, you do a video like for fun that you really enjoy, and YouTube could kind of penalize that if it's not something that everyone exactly might like.
Yeah.
Like YouTube's very much, they have like they try to pigeonhole you into a certain area, and if you start veering off of that, they don't really like that. So for example,
Don't promote it.
when I did my Texas Chainsaw Massacre spoof, called the Texas Tape Gun Massacre, I mean, I loved it. I had a lot of fun. Everyone who watched it liked it, but YouTube didn't give it any play because
They didn't promote it.
Yeah, so like it
Well,
didn't
you're
get
not
that
supposed
many
to do that.
views, and then they subsequently penalize like your next videos off of that.
Yep.
Because,
Mhm.
and it's annoying. So you got to like claw back, to get back into it. It's
It's true.
frustrating.
It's true.
Yeah.
I learned early that it's not what you like. Forget about what you like. Nobody
Yeah.
gives a crap what you like. It's
Right.
what they like. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's like I put out my Facebook Marketplace how-to, and it's 10 of 10. It like, because I've never done anything about Facebook or Facebook Marketplace, and YouTube did not reward me for that one. But I think long term maybe it'll, maybe we'll see. But it's kind of whatever.
Some of the best videos I thought that I was making were not my best videos ever.
Right, like
Yeah, but then sometimes you make a video that you're like, all right, I'm just making a video. Like and you're not thinking much of it. Like my number one video that has over 100,000 views is one on how to use the priority flat rate. It's crazy. If you watch that video, I literally have a stain on my shirt because I'm like, if I knew this was going to be my number one video, I would have dressed up, whatever. I'm just like doing a video. I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting started. I'll do something on the padded flat rate. And sure enough, and here's how dumb I was about that. This was back when YouTube recently changed it that you could monetize 8-minute videos. But back then, for the majority of the time where that video ran, they were only monetizing 10-minute videos. That video ran like 8 minutes and 11 seconds or something. So if all those views and everything, there was
100,000 views, not counted.
Of course, that's the one that was the 8-minute video. So just
Worst feeling ever to do a StreamYard live and forget to change the monetization over.
yeah.
I did that for a couple of my lives. I was like, whoops. And then last night, I had my audio off for a while.
Get this. You got to be careful about this because this actually happened the other night with me. I think it might have been with the interview with you. I'm not sure. But someone commented afterwards. They said, hey, because I had the monetization turned on. They said, hey, I tried to watch it, but it was impossible. YouTube will automatically put in ads at certain ad break points. You could remove that if you want to. And once in a while, they go nuts. Have you ever seen this? They put like a video, like they put like an ad in like every 3 minutes or something. And that's what they did on this one video. So it was like crazy. It was like unwatchable. So you have to watch that if you have a
time. On the pre-made non-StreamYard ones, they don't really do so much. In fact, I find some of the videos with like almost no ads. And so I'll go back through mid-roll and add 1 or 2. If it's a 10 or 12 minute video, people can deal with 1 ad. Like, okay, great, maybe 2. But yeah, for the live shows, I did one live show a couple weeks ago. It was only like 45 minutes or 50 minutes. And it had 18 ads in like a 45-minute video. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like deleting.
But the worst feeling about that though is that your audience might think that you purposely did that.
Yes.
And like, no, I would not do that.
Yeah, they're mad at you. They're like, why'd you put all these ads in?
I didn't. Yeah. So I go back and delete it all and I'll like comment or something. But I think the ideal, I've read so much stuff on it. The ideal for like a live show, if you're doing like an hour live show, every 10 to 15 minutes, if you want to put 4 in there, I mean, people can go 10 or 15 minutes without watching an ad. That's plenty. There's some people that do it like every 4 minutes. And I'm like, I think that's a little excessive. At least maybe like every 8 to 10 minutes. But definitely at 10-minute mark, you're good. So for an hour show, you could put 6 in and it really shouldn't be all that bad. But yeah, I mean, YouTube was putting in like 1 every 2.5 minutes. I'm like, holy.
Right.
And then I was mad at myself. I'm like, well, yep, I can't really argue with that. So Dom was like, Myra said she thinks during quarantine, Myra's a follower of mine. During quarantine, everybody that didn't have a YouTube channel started a YouTube channel because they didn't have anything better to do. That's a true statement.
I started mine right before that. So my first video was December last year. I didn't do that many until January. And then all this stuff happened right after that. So it was like, pigeonhole and like everybody was coming in. And I know, like, I saw Courtney saying she scaled back, and I've heard a lot of other people. I know, like, Julian's been trying to figure out. It's such a hard balance to figure out how much time to put into your YouTube, which at the beginning, like, Julian's not making $1 off of YouTube unless he gets viewer sales. And, you know, you put all this time in, and it does eventually, I think, pay off. You know, mine is increasing every month. But then you look at eBay that's making you thousands of dollars a month, and you're pulling away your time from that, and you're making, you know, so you have to balance it. So Courtney was saying, Courtney is Bolo Buddies, for those of you guys that don't know. She had to pull back. She stopped her live shows, and she's putting more time into her reselling because she's a full-time reseller, and now her sales are up. So it's a hard balance in reselling life to, you know, figure out how much time to spend on YouTube that pays you pennies and how much time to spend on eBay that's paying you $1. You know?
You have to just, you know, for me, that circles all the way back to the beginning of this video. No excuses. I don't do anything else. I got no kids. I got no job. I got nothing. This is, I better be making videos. I better be selling stuff. I better be dancing on YouTube for TikTok views. I better be doing everything I can because I have no excuse and no reason that I can't do all of the above. So, yeah, I mean, I know it's not reasonable for some people, but for me, it's whatever you put, you know, podcast. Every time I don't put out different things that I promise people, I'm like, man, I'm such a failure. Like, no excuse.
Right.
No excuse.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. Where did it go?
I was just trying to read through all of the things. Star just logged into the thing. I actually just did, hey, Star.
Hi, Star.
I actually did just get messages. So for me, I was only planning on being here for like 30 minutes because we had some stuff.
He stayed way past.
Yeah,
so
no, we're good. I'm actually getting the text right now for what I have to do.
And
so.
Dom, do you want to go ahead and cut out as well? Dom was only going to stay an hour. So both of them have stayed longer than they told me they were going to be able to. I appreciate you guys coming. Me and Julian will hang out, and we might have a couple other people will hop on with us. But it has been fun, guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. No, I'm cool. Anytime. Message me. I like hanging out with Dom and Julian. Good to chat. And anytime you need, let me know. Let me know.
Now, Rockstar, I might, you know, traditionally I start the new year off with you on my channel.
It's true. It's true. You know what? I won't be moved, but we will be living somewhere. It's possible we'll be living in my I-8. I don't know, but
well, you might need my services at that point. So
wait. Is New York going to be open for me to move to and live in? Can I stay there?
Yeah. Como just said you have to have a negative COVID test 3 days prior to coming in. So as long as you have that, you should be okay.
I'm sick around the clock. I got so much stuff wrong with me. He can just let me slide through. All right. No, I'll find somewhere to live eventually. I got like 48 days. So.
All right.
Find somewhere to live. Thank you guys both for coming on. Noel, thank you again for another super chat. And I will see both of you guys. Guys, we are staying on. Julie and I are staying here. We are not leaving.
Thanks, everyone.
Don't run away.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for coming on. Who saw me post about it on one of my accounts. I appreciate it.
Oh, before I go, Keith from Flippin' Hippo, Star's other half, just texted me and goes, wait, because he offered me Pennsylvania to come stay in and live with them. And I said, absolutely not. It's cold, it's wet, and I don't want to get into the rest of why I won't go there. And he goes, wait a minute, you just offered New York over Pennsylvania? What drugs are you on? With that, I'm going to leave it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye,
I'll see everyone.
Thank you.
Kat. Bye, Julian. Take care.
See you.
Bye, Dom.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys. So we might have a couple people coming on with us. We will stay here and hang out for a little bit. Hey, Drew. Star, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. You two that are supposed to be coming on with us, if you want to click the link and drop on with me and Julian, that will work. Julian, what'd you get in this big truckload? Tell us what you got in this auction you just got.
Yeah, it's a lot of it was no real furniture or anything like that. There were some pictures of furniture, but it was ruined. But I got some decent like small items and a lot of actually a lot of stuff that I knew about because it was like police officer gear. And
that stuff sells high though, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it was pretty good. Some definitely some Harley Davidson t-shirts, some Harley jackets, I got some golf clubs. Yeah, somebody said golf clubs. I did get some golf clubs, golf bags. I got just an array of some like PS2 stuff, some computer stuff, some graphic cards. I got a lot of stuff. I got some golf clubs. Yeah, somebody said golf clubs. I hear myself. Golf clubs, golf bags.
Noel, no, you too. You guys, if you do not know, this is Noel, Farm Girl Scavenger. We should have hopefully one other person coming in. She hopefully will hit the live stream. So I knew that Casey and Dom both weren't gonna be able to stay. Casey was only supposed to stay a half hour, so he stayed way longer than he said.
Casey is one of those guys that will just talk until he has to go, and he's got good stuff to say. So why not? You know?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Keep him as long as you can.
Well, Noel, tell everybody about you for sure. Noel hasn't been on with me yet. Richard is dropping her link. So I did tell Richard our secret because he's like my top guy there, and he has the know so he can drop the links in the chat. So he has already dropped Noel's channel in the chat for you guys. So subscribe to her. I'm going to make you big. How about that?
Oh, God, help.
Do it.
You don't want to do that.
There you go.
I did it.
You did it. Hi, everybody. I'm Noelle, Farm Girl Scavenger. A lot of you guys see me in the chats or whatnot. I've been doing this for, so let's see, since 2009. I've been on a lot of channels. I've had interviews with Dom. I was one of Dom's first subscribers and supporters. So I've been on Wade's Ventures. I mean, you could just Google Farm Girl Scavenger and it'll take you to anything you want, but I'm just telling you right now, just be prepared. So I live in Southwest Washington. I'm 16 miles north of Portland, Oregon, which is awesome because there's no sales tax in Portland, Oregon, and there's no income tax in Washington. So I get the best of both worlds. And I spent years working in Oregon and had to pay their state sales income tax. So anytime I want to buy something that is spendy, I just go over to Oregon. Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah. So Noelle does a lot of lives. I've been trying. Sorry, I was shoving a sandwich while you were talking.
That's all right.
I wasn't getting the notifications. I don't know why. I dropped in Noelle's live. Was it this morning or yesterday?
This morning.
Days
it's been
like
a day, hasn't it? I'll tell you
days
what.
run together for me.
I know.
So are you working? Do you like? Are you working on putting out more pre-recorded? Didn't I hear you say that, or was I hearing things?
I am. I'm at 417 subscribers, and I need to put the phone over here so that I can actually see the chat because it's not coming up on my stream.
That's why mine's at the side.
I have the same problem as Kat. I have to use my phone to stream.
That's for Julian.
You have to be careful with police stuff, don't you? Okay, let's just get this record straight for everybody that's here. The stuff going on in Portland is a 2-city block thing. It's not the whole thing of Portland, and it's only in the evenings mostly. So
they're talking about Julian's police stuff he bought.
Oh.
Yeah,
all right. Never mind.
It's not uniforms either. It's like gear. It's like
Is it Halloween costume police stuff?
No. It's like holsters. And in this lot was like I thought I scored and got a whole bunch of firearms, but that it didn't happen. So
hello.
So like Julian, have you researched to see like what you're allowed to sell? Like is all of that sellable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like holsters. So it's all that stuff. You can't sell anything on eBay that has to do with a they call it an assault rifle, but it's really like any type of AR, AK, something like that. You can't sell that type of stuff. But for a pistol, you can. Like you can sell they said like handcuff cases. I don't even have any of that stuff. This is gonna be like Glock boxes. I've sold plenty of those before. FN boxes, badge holders, just regular stuff. There was some stuff in there that I won't sell that I'm keeping because it just
something like that. You can't sell
it
that.
costs very expensive to get.
This tool you can, like, you can sell like
Someone has
like you could, like, handcuffs,
It's
cases.
not me.
But this
Gotta
is
Carol,
turn your
mute
YouTube
YouTube.
down.
so plenty of those.
What? I think I'm lagging because what's on the screen is different than what's on the phone. It's weird.
No, that I won't sell them.
Mute
You
your
gotta turn your
YouTube.
volume down.
Hold on, technical difficulties. I need like a flashing thing across our screen. And
Okay.
it
There
says
you
you're
go.
on your phone. Carol, turn your phone sideways. See if your phone will let you turn it sideways, so then you'll fill the whole screen. Oh, I bet you unlock it. Mine does that when I'm locked. Now you're sideways.
shake it like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
What? Oh my god.
No, Carol, listen, go and see if you have the screen lock, because if you have it locked to stay in portrait, it won't turn your camera.
You
Do you
need
have
to
it
go
locked?
and you need to
Okay.
go and you need to unlock the rotate.
Did we get? I think we got rid of the echo, though, right? I don't hear the echo
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
So
she
that
turned
is
that
good.
down. Do you know
Yes,
how to
ma'am.
unlock your rotate screen, Carol?
I'm trying to find it.
Do you know where your flashlight is? The setting where you do your flashlight and all of that?
Yeah.
It's in that area. It says rotate screen.
Look at that.
And
It's
then you'll
okay,
have to
Carol.
move your screen. Once you unlock it, you're gonna have to move your phone.
He's like, I look cute though.
Okay.
Look, Carol, it's okay. Oh,
There
you
you go.
Did I do it?
you
Okay,
did
now-
it.
It's what you call YouTube University right there.
Live
Yay!
in
Hi everybody.
Look though, Carol. Look, you got fans. Eka Nora saying she loves you, so that's awesome.
Gosh, wow, I do.
Yay! Carol only had she's at like 115, 120 subscribers, guys. So I know Richard's probably dropping the link. So definitely subscribe to these ladies and Julian. Jeff,
Yes.
it was a secret. So we had a secret. I knew we like to go closer to 2 hours. We all, of course, knew, but I knew that Dom and Casey were going to have to leave. So I talked to both of these ladies beforehand. Gateway Pickers is saying they subbed, which is awesome. Yeah, definitely subscribe to
Thank you.
everybody. Richard's dropping links for us. I didn't put them in the chat because it was a surprise. I wanted to surprise everybody with our lovely ladies. So
They saved the
Julian,
best. They saved the
Yes.
best for last.
we did. Just don't tell. No, I'm just kidding. It's
I'll
so
tell-
cool because
I'm totally
You're gonna
gonna
tell
tell
'em, right?
Dom. Who do you think I am? I should be texting him right now. See, he's going on. I hope he watches it. I'm gonna make sure he watches this. He's going
It's
on and
so
on and on.
crazy though. Like
He's
everybody
going on
has-
and on about this Shop Goodwill Disney buy that he bought. Okay, so when Julian tagged me in that sellathon, what?
Oh,
was that 2 weeks
Tinathon
Yeah,
ago?
it was
thing?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Oh no,
so
that
Dom
was the
bought.
Tag You're It, right? Tag You're
Yeah,
It.
Yeah.
the tag you're it. So Dom bought a little stuffed Geppetto doll from me.
That's
And
cool.
what a
He
lot
bought
of
a
you guys
minivan
don't
for me.
what a lot of you guys don't know is the day that I got off the plane from coming home from eBay Open, there was a huge in 2019, so a year ago, there was a huge estate sale. This house was 4 stories with a outside basement. It had an elevator, and we went. And this guy, I don't know if he owned a McDonald's or a Burger King, or if he was part of the chain, or he knew some. He had so much Disney stuff. They literally had the big Rubbermaid totes, and they had $35 on a tote. They just threw stuff in these totes. Well, I told the guy, I said, I want a lot of this stuff, but I don't want all the stuff. And he goes, one of the guy that was down in the garage part. And he goes, so just open them all up and put what you want in one and put the others in the other. He goes, I don't give a shit what you take. He goes, you're just going to pay $35 for whatever's in a tote. So I bought like $500 worth of totes. I bought posters.
I probably would have done the same.
I
Oh, yeah.
can't even, and then I went back the next day when it was 50% off, and I bought all the totes that I took the stuff
You
out of
didn't
that
buy
I didn't really want because it was still worth money, right? So I pulled a couple of little trinkets out of one of my Disney drawers for Dom and sent them to him for Mrs. PT. And he and I were talking. FaceTime, and I walked over to one of the tall. So my granddaughter and I sorted through everything, and I have I can't even tell you. I haven't gotten any of it listed.
A lot of people are saying they subbed to you two ladies, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Julian,
so
how much
I opened this one drawer out, and I pulled a bag out, a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and it probably had the same amount of stuff in it that Dom bought for $300. It had watches, it had pins, it had that was just one little tiny thing. Anyway, that's why I kept saying in the chat, "Come on, Dom, I'll sell you a Disney lot."
Oh, a drawer. Yeah.
It's crazy though. I mean, I was just opening up drawers and taking pictures, and
that's where like my makeup has been insane. I've made hundreds of dollars off of that find from a little thrift store in Alabama. So you guys need to look and be prepared. Like, she had to have the money to buy all those totes. You got to be ready, and you got to spend money to make money. Like, if you come across something like that, you're going to have to buy it, because she's not going to find that estate sale ever again. You're not going to
not only that, you guys, I just come back from a $5,000 week at Vegas for eBay Open. So I mean, I was doing landscaping at that time, and I literally finished a $4,000 landscaping job at 11:30 at night and got on the plane at 5:30 that morning. So, I mean, this is my living now. I quit doing landscape. I had a landscaping business for years. I have a degree in egg hort, and I was raised on a dairy farm. I live in the house I grew up in, so farm girl scavenger. That's where all that comes from. And so I have a lot of room to store things, because there are rooms out in the barn. Like right now, I have my dad's old office. It's all cleaned up. I cleaned it all up, and so I have a 10 by 20 area out there. And if you don't think it's not full, well, it's darn close.
She's like, tons of spaces to fill that are all full. Carol, I'm going to put you big and let you introduce yourself in case. Yeah, just go big and just introduce yourself to everybody.
Yes,
so they
Carol.
know you are. Here, Carol, you're going big.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carol, also known as Butterfly Hustles here on YouTube. I just started not too long ago, and I'm totally having fun with it. This is the most fun I've had in years. Like, the community is rad. I love the reselling family, and everybody on YouTube is just so, nice. I don't know. There's probably good and bad in everywhere, but I love this community. It's so fun, and I love doing videos. I probably over edit because I like editing, and I'm learning how to do all the different edits, but I'm having lots of fun with it and meeting lots of new people, good people. And and I wanted to, are you guys back now?
We're here with you. We're here with you, Carol.
We're here.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Emily Conway. She's doing a challenge. It's a reselling challenge. And if you guys can join us, it's Emily Conway and what's his name? Yakov Benz?
Yakov.
Yeah, they're doing a list at all. I told them, they said I could do 20 items, but like, that's nowhere near all for me. So I don't think I feel like.
Did you see what I put on her thing? I was like, she was showing her death pile, and I said, Emily, that's the shelf in my office.
But I've been working on that somewhat all day today. I'm making a video, and it's fun. All this is just so fun for me. Keeps me busy.
Julian lists like crazy. Like, how many did you get listed today, Julian, out of your stuff?
It was a slow day. I did like 25.
Yes. So everybody like, and I mean, I list like that too. Like, I'll list 50 without even like knowing it.
Yeah, but
I'll
let's,
feel
let's, let's just get this here. Kat is a nurse. She works full time. She has a child. She has 4 dogs. She has a husband.
I know. I don't know how she does it.
Her mother takes pictures for her, not on everything, but a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
well,
Julian has no kids, a girlfriend. You should be doing 100 listings a day.
I sometimes get 100. Yeah. Sometimes
I'm single and happy, but I'm not. I have a 13-year-old granddaughter with type 1 diabetes who's living with me. I have a 7-year-old grandson who's living with me. My 34-year-old son living with me. And then I take care of my aunt who's 72 and not doing well. And she has 5 acres. And so some days I'm just like,
Oh.
and my son has a store. He has about 500 items in his store. And my granddaughter's starting her store. But really, we know who's really doing the store. So I did 30 listings last Friday, and that's the most I've ever done in my entire life. And I don't have any help whatsoever. And I have to wait until everybody goes to bed, or I want to literally would probably be in jail because I just want to murder, and I'm not a nice person to be around. Right on the other side of this wall is the couch, and the kids are in there, and I can hear them like touching the wall, and they're just being kids, but it's just like I can't do it.
It's hard. And Dalton's funny, like he knows when he'll be playing fine if I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. Soon as I go to list, he wants to be right here. So I'm like around him trying to take pictures. Like it's like he's like, no working.
I guess some days you just do it, and it's kind of like my granddaughter's been going to see her mom the last 2 weekends. She's gone and spent 2 nights with her mom. So she hasn't done that for months, and it's good and it's great and all of that. So it's that much quieter, but I'm telling you, some days I just wonder, what I need. I need time management.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that because my issue is mom will come take the pictures for me, but I have to list them. So and most of the stuff she's taking pictures of are typically going to be $10 or less items. There might be a few higher priced, but they're kind of my fillers. So I've got to list these higher priced items. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's like I'm work, and don't list. Like dollar wise, I'm not listing a lot, but my mom needed extra income. So it's helping her. It gets me listings up and they sell. It doesn't take a lot of time, but I have to, manage like what percent am I going to do of hers, like because for a long time I wasn't listing my stuff, which is my higher dollar, $30, $40, $50 stuff, sometimes more, and I need to figure out and what I've been doing with my mom. And you guys, like, if you can find someone to list, it's nice. I tried though before my mom, and my mom used to list for me and I had her stop because I kind of had to learn her limitations. Like,
you got it. Kat, you need to come in and go out.
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay, anybody got anything to say about Kat? Now's your chance.
While she's gone. We love. My issue is getting all the inventory in and keeping it coming in. Like listing, you said, I got nothing going on but me. But if I list 100, I better have 300 in line because, and that's a lot of product to move, and I don't have that. I don't have that quite yet. So you can roll. You can roll 50 to 100 a day, which sometimes I list 35 to 50 before 9:30 in the morning. But then,
I don't even know how you do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it if I was all by myself. I couldn't do that many.
Yeah, I prep the night before. That's key. You have to prep the night before.
Yeah.
Like I will line them up. Like when I'm done listing, a lot of times I list in the morning. I wake up around 5:30. And 9:30, I always go to the post office. So I have 4 hours of like just silence. So I put headphones in, good coffee, get some breakfast, and I list for 4 hours. And I can really, if I like tonight when I get off of here, I will immediately start cleaning anything I need to clean and get at least 25 to 30 prepped. And then I can
you
run
tell
through
me
those.
what silence is like?
Good idea.
Yeah. At my house, I have a dog, and my girlfriend works night shift, so she,
Oh,
she
so she's
sleeps during the
sleeping.
day, and
Yeah, that's perfect for you guys.
yeah, so
I
it's
mean,
just put headphones in, good to go.
I want to make a point to everybody in the chat because I know that there are a bunch of you thinking in your head, 20 a day, 10 a day, 150. I could never do that. My anxiety was so bad over listening to people and Casey and all of those guys. Now I've hung out with Casey. I spent a lot of time with Casey in Vegas for not this last summer. And he's the same age as my oldest boy. So let me just tell you that. But what you guys need to understand is a lot of people that are telling you this, they have help somewhere, somehow, some way. And one of my biggest problems with listening is going too far deep into research and questioning myself on my titles and stuff like that. And so this last October, the first part of October, I blew away all of my anxieties, and I watched one of Kat's shows, and I was just like, screw this shit. I have 1,500 listings, and I should be selling 10 items a day, and I'm not. And that other, you guys should be selling 10% of your inventory every day. Bull. Maybe you should be. It doesn't.
No. Like 1%.
It's not going to happen.
1% is normal. Half percent is more normal. I just wanted, now that I'm back without my tin cat, Josh's chaos has been binge watching my videos like crazy. And Josh, I do appreciate that. I'm glad you were able to come out and hang out in the chat. And yeah, like YouTube burnout, it's such, and that's where it gets to like, you need to like the time management. That's what I was starting to say. Like mom is taking all these pictures, but I've had to stop her from taking pictures. And like I use Ethan, just to say, I do the same thing, Ethan. Everything, Ethan, because it builds that base. Yeah. And like with mom though, taking the pictures, it's a help, but it's also a hindrance because if I'm only doing hers, I'm not doing my expensive ones. And then you throw YouTube into the mix and you throw everything else. And like my house is a disaster. I think I was talking to Noelle about that. Like I need to or maybe it was you, Carol. It was one of you two, or maybe both. But I need to I got to figure out a time schedule, and I hate scheduled stuff. I will tell you guys, I'm not a organizer. I'm a kind of do whatever I can when I can.
I'm not going to pick on anybody or say that I might suppose that I know what you're going through, Kat, but you're not the only adult in your house, and I'm not the only adult in my house. So at some point in time, the other adults in our houses have to help with the housework and that kind of stuff too. Carol we can only do so much. And I'm not saying that the other adult in your house isn't a great person and he doesn't help, because I'm sure he is and he does. Hi, Brad. I love you if you're listening.
He's playing his game. No, and he does, but a lot of the messiness and disorganization is all my stuff. So I will own that. It's mine.
So,
and he's not going to touch my inventory or move it. Like, do you guys see this room? Look at it. That's all mine.
So I did a house clean out when school was not going to be in. I went to IKEA, bought desks for the grandkids. I cleaned that whole front room out. That Justin has his roll top desk and his computer and all that in there. And that just kind of that was my hiding spot, right? I had boxes piled up behind the couch in the corner, everywhere, you name it. You couldn't pile them up any higher. And I went and bought these shelves for my office. I have a tall one here and one here, and everything got boxed up. It got put out. I mean, I'm telling you. And so now what I bring into the house has to get listed and go back out. There's no more stacking boxes, and because if it's going to come in the house, like right now, the stuff I bought at the estate sale this weekend is still in my car, and I never have done that.
I have
Never
garage
have I
sale
done that.
stuff in the truck. It's still in the truck. And I've gotten the same way where if I want to buy with as much of a death pile as I have, then I need to only buy what I can list that day. Like you're saying, where it's not adding to this mess behind me. I'm bringing it in, I'm listing it, and it's going out in the shed where the listed stuff is. And it's just, you know, but it's hard because I have my buying tendencies and like this chaos behind here, it doesn't bother me a ton, but I think I would work better and mentally be better if this was clean, you know?
It would, you would, and it would. It just, because in the back of your mind, it's there, right? I got to get to this. And then you go to do something.
Like clean brain, clean. There's some saying. What is it? Clean brain, clean something.
It's no wonder you don't know it.
Did you hear Brad just now? There's people behind you.
But the thing is, it doesn't. That's the problem.
The rule of law in my house is if you don't have a ting ting, you don't shoot other people with ting tings. And I just got Nerf gun attacked from behind. I got one. It doesn't work. You guys didn't put. That's not fair.
They gave you an unworking gun.
Every shot.
Well, Kat, I want to show you. I want to show you my mess. Look at this.
Okay, everybody. Julian doesn't have a mess. Where'd Carol go? Carol disappeared. She tried to show us her mess and it blew off the screen.
Gone.
Ethan was saying I put a lot on Instagram, so I feel like my Instagram fuels my YouTube. So like you'll notice my higher stuff or stuff that I think people should know for bolos is what I put on Instagram. And that's definitely like so I have to remind myself though with Instagram and be like I'll look and be like, crap, I haven't put any what sold up for like 2 days. So I do. Instagram's another thing I try and put like at least like 3 what solds a day. If I have them for a while, my sales were just crap and I didn't have anything to share. So hopefully Carol comes back. I wonder if she even knows we're gone or if she's showing us without us being
I
there.
wonder if she flipped her camera around and hit the, because it'll want to
But
shut
no,
off.
she totally left from. Oh wait, she might be coming back. I see somebody.
I do better on Instagram. I'm getting close to 4,000 followers on Instagram. So I have a following on Instagram. I've been around the block, so to speak. And I get all the time from the people that know me that have seen, you know, my YouTube channel is a mess and it's nobody's mess but mine. But there's some funny videos. There's some good videos on there, but I need to go in there and clean it all up and make playlists and do all of that stuff. But right now what I'm working on is to get to 500 subscribers. And I can't do that if I don't clean up and start putting out more videos regularly. And we all know that. So,
well, and you'll get a lot of hours like with the lives right away, but long term your pre-records, and I mean we've been getting a lot of rewatches of my lives, surprisingly.
That's just me.
But that's not normal. No,
That's just an old loop.
I get lonely, Kat, and I need to hear your voice, so I just watch all of your shows.
It's all you watching 500 times over and over.
You know it. I got 4 different YouTube channels.
Brandy is my reseller treasure. Brandy does a lot of dolls and toys, and like she was saying, she goes through one bin at a time, which I have found helps. So I have like my shelves in my shipping room, and I do a shelf at a time because at least it's like a smaller block, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to target this shelf, but then I go outside and bring stuff in to fill the shelf back up.
But
and we do it all over again.
I have to walk past all of this stuff that I've got nicely stacked and boxed up when I go to my shipping station. And every time I walk past it, I'm like, oh shit, I got to get that listed. That's worth so much money. And I'm like a freaking squirrel. And then I walk around this corner. I'm like, oh man, I can't take that in the house. I haven't finished listing the stuff I have in there. And then I have an estate sale book buyout I did that are all first editions and all in great condition that I paid $680 for, and they're all sitting nicely packed in boxes in my garage. I listed one of them. It's worth over $1,000. I have it listed.
Well, and this is all money sitting here, sitting
I
there too. We have
know.
all this money just
But
like
I'm only
piles of
one
money just
person.
sitting there. No, I know. I know. Even with my mom helping, like I said, I get backed up on her photos because I'm like, I got to list some stuff too. And then, so what I've been doing is having mom cross post now. Like, I'm like, don't take any more pictures. I taught her how to cross post, which kicks me in the butt sometimes because she put like a 2-pound bowl, weighed 8 ounces. But you know, we'll work.
So are you using business policies, Kat, or are you just putting a price in? Okay,
no,
so
I haven't ever used business policies.
Okay, so I have business policies set up. And I have flat rate for 0 to 8 ounces, from 8.1 to 16 ounces. And then I have the large flat rate, medium flat rate, the padded flat rate, all those. I have a shipping business policy for each one of those. And so my biggest problem when we were on talking with Tommy and I let them go through my store and all of that, my biggest problem is anything that's over a pound that won't fit into a flat rate that's calculated. And those prices, the shipping prices are killing my sales because they're there. Like I got a message from a gal from Canada today on, it's a yellow Tupperware container and it held stencils, had all the stencils in it. Well, eBay wants to charge more for shipping for that than I have it priced for, or right at the same time. So I went through and I made business shipping policies for 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and 4 pounds, because using pirate ship international export rate, they only do up to 4 pounds, and Canada has a separate rate. So I have, and I don't know, I printed it out for me, but I don't know how well you guys are able to see that. But in a business policy, let's see. In a business policy, you name it, and then you have like 1 pound flat rate shipping. And so for the United States, I go by the furthest zip code away from me. I put in and see what it's going to cost me. And per pirate ship, to anywhere in the United States, it should, for 1 pound that won't fit in a padded flat rate in any way, shape, or form, it's going to cost me $9. That's the most it would cost me to send it anywhere. So I might have a 1 pound item that won't fit in anything that may only cost me $7.50, but I just put a flat shipping. And then to send that same 1 pound to Canada, it's $12. And for the rest of the world, it's $15 per pirate ship. So I did that same thing with 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, and 4 pound, because I went off.
For standard, you're talking about standard international.
Pirate ships, pirate ships, simple export rate.
Okay, yeah. Just to clarify for everybody, because like obviously in the States, it's not gonna be that much.
No. So in this one business policy for the 1 pound, one business policy for the 2 pound, 3 pound, and 4 pounds. So that's 4 business policies. And when I pull up my shipping and when I'm doing that, all I need to know is, because I've done it long enough, and shipping is ultimately the hardest part to learn about eBay. It isn't even an argument. It'll kill you in anything. And I thought I had it down, and I was wrong, and I was schooled, and I took it like I should have, and I made the changes I needed to make. So I went in, and I can't change the shipping on that because I'm running a sale right now. When you're running a sale, you can't change anything. It locks all of your things. So I sent her a message, and I said, here's the deal. If you're willing to pay that price that I have it for sale on, this is what it's going to cost for me to send it to you. You let me know, and I will end it and relist it and send you the new link for it. So just know that, and it's not something that anybody can teach you in a hot, quick second, shipping rates and that kind of stuff. pirate ship and all of that. But I do want to say, and I'm not going to say anybody's names, there is a lot of misinformation out there about pirate ship and cubic shipping rates and how to measure your box in a bag stuff and all of that. So you can
My
go
phone
and
was dying, so I'm trying to straighten up my tripod with my cord plugged in, if anybody wonders why I'm going crazy.
You're just really just shaky, that's all.
Richard has a question for everybody, and I want to say, Greg, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it, even though it's a pile of poop. Thanks a lot.
That's because Greg's a poop head.
Josh, I'm always having fun. Gateway always. Yeah, even so, Brian Ronning was talking about it taking forever to upload YouTube videos. What I've learned to do is I save them in lower quality. I save them in lower quality because it doesn't make a difference on YouTube, and it now it only takes like about an hour and a half at the most for like a 20-minute video from home. And it's crazy though, at work with Wi-Fi it takes 2 minutes, and I'm like, really? So now I try and upload as much as I can from work.
Really?
I just got a new tablet. It's the Galaxy Book S, and it's on my my phone plan. And so and I can it's Windows based. It was $1,000. Cat, you may want to get one. I'm paying for that. It's the only thing I'm making payments on. Let's just say that.
I got one. I wasn't sorry. Carol's like here and not here. Carol, if you can hear us, it says device is not connected. I'm trying to figure out how to get her back, but I see her in the back room, but there's no photo or anything of her.
Huh.
So what am I supposed to buy?
A Samsung Galaxy Book S, and it needs to be on your wireless plan because it'll give you. It's a Windows based tablet. It's actually like a small computer. I got one I'm getting one for each of my grandkids for school because our internet here is so bad. And then it's unlimited because I have an unlimited plan. So I'll be using that. We just got one of them today, and I'll be using that to do any live streams or that. Whenever they're not using then I'll use it to upload all my videos and do that kind of stuff with, because it's like a small computer, and I won't have to use my phone to do all of this, and I can be more active in the chat and do that kind of stuff.
Greg, yes, you were super late. So our two main guests who came on were on for the first hour. So you were over an hour late, my friend. So you'll have to
like an hour.
If you want to watch with them. But now, Carol, I see it still says device is not connected. So it's almost like you're signing in, but your camera and mic aren't turned on. Because I see her writing in the chat. So I'm assuming she can hear us. So I'm not sure what happened when in between there. So Josh, you are newer, so I have, if you haven't watched replays of any of the live shows, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have no option for even DSL. I use the hotspot on my phone for my internet here, and it normally at about an hour in, it lasted a lot longer tonight before I went tin can. Normally at about the hour mark I go, like, where I have to sign out and back in.
I live in a not really that far away from anything. Like I said, I'm 16 miles away from Portland, Oregon, and the major city closest to me is Vancouver. There's just a bridge. I live in a very good area. The problem is where I live used to be nothing but dairy farms. And in the 70s, they came through an eminent domain half of our property to put a major 2-lane highway in. And they basically put us in a little hole. And all of the internet, I have fiber optics up the yin yang around my farm, 49 acres. They will not come 100 feet to my house and hook me up. So I am on CenturyLink, and the only other option is TDS, which is even worse. 85% of the kids that go to my grandson's school cannot do internet-based learning. Their only option, if they really want to do it, is for the parents to go park in the parking lot at the school and sit there for 6 hours with their kids. So,
yeah, that's not.
And it is just stupid, pathetic, that they can't, in this day and age, but I have a cell tower on my property that we rent, I mean, it's a 20-year contract, something like that.
That's
so
nice income, though.
I get 4G, and I'll get 5G because they'll just put more. Yeah. Hopefully I won't be here when that comes around because that'll just kill me. But, or maybe not. I have like 6 lives left, something like that. So I get really good cell phone, and I will easy tether my phone to my computer. I have a brand new computer. It's like 4 months old. My youngest son bought it for me I got it in May. He bought it for me for Mother's Day and my birthday. So I have a brand new computer. So it has absolutely. And I just bought a brand new $200 router too, because that one was from, I'm scared to say 2006, but it doesn't matter because they're not going to put, I ping out of Seattle, Washington.
Angela, I want to say
3 hours away.
And I know Noelle agrees as well. And I want you guys to know, like, my mom helping me didn't start until about a month ago. So my $30,000 90-day was only me. There was no help there. So I want to say I agree with you not comparing yourself to others, but I will tell you by yourself, it can be done. If you want it bad enough, you can do it. Julian is doing it by himself. Noelle is doing it by herself. I was doing it by myself the last 2 years. My reason for my mom is more to help my mom than me because she needs extra income, but I don't, instead of just giving her money, I would like to get something from that. Plus she gets to come over here, hang out, I don't, so, and it's just little items. But for a year and a half, that $75,000, $80,000 a year was only me. I'm the only one buying. I'm the only one photographing. I'm the only one listing. So without help, it can be done. I'm not saying compare yourself to others, but do not make excuses
know you can do it.
That you can't do it because it's only you, because it can be done. My friend sold almost 2 million on Amazon last year with one part-time helper, and he did over 500,000 by himself. So your limitations, and I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm picking on you, but a lot of people use that as an excuse and a crutch, and do not do that. Definitely compare yourself to you and improve on yourself, but don't feel that you're limited and never going to hit these numbers because it's only you, because that's not true.
Also, don't. I think what I was getting to too is don't look at what everybody else is doing and freak out because you can't do that.
Right. And you got to do your own pace.
It's not a matter of you can't do that. You just haven't figured it out yet, because that was my problem. I knew I could do it, and I can do better. I can do a lot better. We all have issues. We all have problems. And when I get bummed out or life just hits me, I will zone out for a couple hours. I might do it every day. If I wasn't doing that every day for a couple hours, just think how much more productive I would be.
Right.
And I don't have anybody to blame for that but myself. So don't compare yourself to anybody. Compare yourself to you and what you can do. And then when you're ready to do that, and all you need is that little push, you will find the right person at the right time. I needed a little push, and I've been following Kat for a long time, but I'm a lurker. I'm a known lurker. I should just change my name to the known lurker.
It's a good name.
Wade from Wade's Ventures named me that a long time ago, because I would be in chats and I would be in stuff and because when I'm doing landscaping, I would just have my headphones on and I would listen, and stuff like that.
And I listen a lot, like when I'm driving. But yeah, I mean, I think improving upon yourself is the biggest thing, but I'm a big time believer in positive thinking. And if you think you cannot do something, you're not going to do it. Like, that's the bottom line. So if you tell yourself, oh, it's just me, I can't make more than whatever. And that doesn't mean like the listings.
I love
don't
you,
know.
Greg.
Greg finally joined my group. It's about time. I appreciate it, Greg. But I want to say, like, if you think negatively, you're not going to accomplish as much as you could. And that's one of my biggest things, is you have to believe that you can do that. You can do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to make the money, you could start sourcing higher priced items to get it up, or you're going to have to sell more things, but you have to increase that stuff slowly. I don't remember who I was going to pick on somebody, and I don't even remember. Dave said, do you see Dave there? Dave.
Dave,
But like,
watch out. I'm coming for you, buddy. And why, Dave, why haven't you invited me on your channel?
Yeah, Dave.
He's afraid of me. Let's just put that out there.
I'm not scared of anybody. Julian's laughing at me. So Josh, if you can't seem to get past that 12K, which isn't a bad number, that's not a bad number, but you need to look at, like I was just saying, either you're going to have to figure out how to list more items, or you're going to have to find higher priced items.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Josh, I'll give you, I'll tell you what I did. And it was, so we'll pick on you, Richard. We just have to wait 5 minutes. What I did, Josh, was I used to run
waiting 5 minutes to pick on
because it's going to take me 5 minutes to answer Josh's thing.
Okay, go ahead.
What I ran promoted listings for 1% for a long time. It wasn't doing me any good. It wasn't helping me at all. And I heard Kat say, I just bump my prices up 30% and I run my promoteds at 10 and I'll run a 40% off sale. And something in my head went like this. And let me just tell you, I started doing that on the 6th of October and I was having maybe a 70. I was grossing about 3,000 a month. Okay, grossing. Now I don't have a huge cost of goods. A lot of my stuff I get for free or pennies. When I say pennies, I this pencil right here is worth about 10 or 15 bucks, and I paid 50 cents for a whole jar of them, and they're all worth that much money. Okay. So let's just think about that. So if you think about that and you up your prices and you up your promoted listings and quit listening to the noise around everybody else and just see what happens with your store, because if you don't like it, it doesn't work, you can turn right around and change it all back. Yep. It's your store. A lot of people tell you promote, so it's nothing that the retail stores don't do.
Angela's saying we didn't pick up her comment. I put this one up, and this is what I was talking about for a little while. If you put something else, I'm not seeing it, and everything does not come through StreamYard. So if there was something following up this comment, Angela, put it again in the chat, and hopefully it'll come through. I do want to say, Noelle, on that note of changing it, do you remember? So I had everything promoted at 10% flat. And then I'm like, I'm paying too much in promoted fees. I dropped it to 5%. It killed my sales.
I did the same thing. No,
I cut it in half. eBay did not like it. So I would not, unless you're making a drastic bump higher, I would not recommend changing your promoted and cutting it in half.
Unless you want to wait,
will penalize you.
Wait until after the first of the year. So if you're gonna.
So now I'm doing promoted plus 2% with a cap of 11% now.
I'm doing 10% across the board. Boom. I don't have
that's what I was at, but
I just went in and I bulk edited everything. I didn't go into promotions and run a promotion because it's a pain in the butt to promote your whole store at the same time. You have to download this, upload this, blah, blah, crap. screw that crap. Go in, select all your things, bulk edit. Bulk edit, your price is up 20% or 30%. I did 30%. I did 10% the first time, and then I went back in and I bulk edited everything 10%. Now, when I list something, I list it 20 to 30% higher than what I think, because I haven't ran my biggest sale was 30% off. So, and a lot of my stuff I already had priced a little bit higher already, so that I could take a best offer. I could send out, you know, all of that. So now I have my stuff up high, and I run a sale Friday night through Monday morning. And then I run a sale Monday night through Thursday night. There she is.
I wasn't in Chrome. That was the thing.
Yeah, you have to open it in Chrome. Angela, I think your comment, we did kind of go over the one, like, don't compare yourself to others. If there was another comment there, I'm not seeing it at all. That's your only comment that I'm seeing. So I'm not trying to not pay attention. So if it was something different, but that's what the first comment that we did see was that's what we've been discussing with don't compare yourself to others. And I always say that, like, if you have to compare yourself to someone, compare yourself to someone with similar numbers, similar listings, and similar items. Don't compare yourself to someone that has double the listings you do, or, you know, whatever.
Or sources different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'm buying all this bulk stuff, but you're going, and Josh said that, and Josh was saying, like, standing at the thrift stores, but you need to, Josh, if you're standing in line 6 hours and getting low end items, find a different way to source. You need to come out of that box, and you need to I have the video, 5 places to source, how I source on Shop Goodwill. I have a couple of them. And like Richard, you need
to go to your mom's house and source when she's not there, because you're gonna have to get rid of all that shit when they die anyway.
Hello, Debbie.
Sorry.
I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I don't see another comment by Angela either, and I'm going way up above the one that she left. So please, if that wasn't the one, Angela, then please put it back in there, because it's an important subject. It really is.
So Miriam, and that's the thing, like, so on my members only live last night, I know Noelle and Carol were both in there, and they were actually, I was picking on them. We went over and looked at their stores, and like, I gave them like advice. And it's funny though, because Noelle's doing great, and Noelle like doesn't use white backgrounds, which I prefer. So you're going to have you got to find your own way.
But I have a brand.
Your own way is working. But if your own way isn't working, then I would look for a new way for your own way, if that makes sense.
I don't do white backgrounds because I have branded myself. And Farm Girl Scavenger is my brand. And I took, as a matter of fact, I will take you guys and show you. I built my listing station.
Hi, Tommy. Thank you for coming in.
It?
That's awesome. Yeah, that looks cool.
Okay.
Here, I'll make it big.
So this is a table on wheels, and it's got a shelf with all my cleaning stuff. And I put these hooks here. I have a male body and a female body that I can hang from that. Any linens that I do, I hang with vintage clothespins. And that's if I have something that's too big for that, I will take it outside and like I have a couple of quilts and a vintage piece of fabric, and I took it out and I literally hung it on my chicken coop fence, because you couldn't see the chicken run fence because all you could see was green grass below. So that's, for
what
the
are
most
you
part.
eating? What is he eating?
Ice.
No, not ice.
Carol, I'm glad you're back. And both of you guys message me and remind me after, because I'll get you guys on as like primary guests for a night. Not just following up. We'll get you on for like a whole show for sure. And Josh, yeah, that I think is the biggest thing is if you're stuck somewhere you don't like it, you need to realize that you do need to change if you want it to improve. And Carol took my criticism like a champ. And I told her, and I'll tell everybody, like, I don't sugarcoat stuff because I don't think that helps people. I think you need to look at it. And if you need to be, harsh with yourself, you need to be, because if you're not getting the numbers you want, something is not right and you need to improve upon something. And even with like good numbers, like there's a ton I could improve on. There's always room for improvement for everybody, no matter what you're doing.
Phone. I gotta get a new tripod.
Okay. Tommy, thank you for stopping in.
I went
Buffalo
and
Picker.
changed all my backgrounds today, or most of them, and I've been doing the white background from now on.
Was that Tommy B?
The follow up. It's Tommy Buffalo Picker. Tommy is a great channel. I don't know if Richard can drop Tommy's link. Tommy does a bunch with Amazon and FBA. He's a great resource for that.
I lurk in Tommy all the time. He doesn't even know that I'm there. I lurk in all of his videos.
Yeah, I was lurking in Brian's auction. Mr. Buys a Lot.
I can't do the auction.
I had something I wanted to bid on, and I like put my numbers, and everybody's like, "Kat, you're here." I'm like, "I've been here." But a lot of times I'm multitasking, so I'm not typing in the chats, but I listen.
It's hard to do both. I mean, because you're concentrating on like looking at what's going on, because on the computer all the words are like behind, so you can't look at the computer. So
Richard said he needs a raise. That's what Richard's telling me.
We all need a raise.
I'm keeping Richard up late. And I know Jennifer was in here earlier, so we need to Richard, maybe we can find you help. If somebody is in my lives all the time and wants to help Richard with dropping links and stuff,
I'll help on the next live, Richard. I promise.
Poor Richard. And Richard stepped up without being asked, by the way. So Richard, I really
he does a wonderful job too. Wonderful.
Richard,
Richard.
Richard's horrible about this. Richard, drop your own link in the chat. Richard has a YouTube and he has great videos.
Richard has a couple of really good videos that he just did from some yard sales that I just watched.
Yeah, so Richard, drop your own link. So Carol, I'm interested to see. I think we're booked out. Me and Julian on the show, we're booked out till I want to say almost late November. So we'll get you on. I'm interested to see, like, with making these changes, like what happens sales wise.
Yeah. So I am a firm believer that everything everybody else thinks you should do, you should not.
Do the opposite.
I am. And I'm living proof that it works, because Dom and I have had an argument for the get-go on free shipping. And I will never do free shipping unless eBay makes us.
But you got to find your own way. You might match like a little thing from me, something from Julian, something that Noelle's doing, like her wood background. That might be what your thing is that works for you, and make your own style.
As long as you guys are being consistent. If you are consistently using a white background and you pop in an ultraviolet red something or whatever, if you're consistently using a white background, or you're consistently using a black background for whatever it is that you some things you can't photo on a white background. There's pretty much nothing that I can't photo on my wood background. The only thing that limits me is size. And if I need to do a flat lay of a shirt or something, I have a little step stool, and I just stand up on top of it and take my pictures down. So one thing that
I'm trying to do is get a more consistent pattern, because I have it on my wood floor and I have it on my black background,
white
background, and then tile.
So Carol, what you could do is just buy a backdrop, and you can either have it hanging or you can lay it on the floor. So
yeah, I have a backdrop.
Don't listen to her, because she said don't listen to what people
I said what she could do, and that way whatever. If you're using white, buy 2 white backdrops and have one that you can put on the floor and one that you're using in the back.
And I use white photo paper. That was at Rally Root's suggestion. And you don't get like the glare. And I have like a 4 foot wide, like, I don't know if you guys can see. See
you
that
can get a
roll in
roll
the
of it.
corner? See
Yep.
that right there? That's a big roll of white photo background paper that I can roll out. I actually hang it to the mantle of the fireplace and
Also,
photograph a ton of stuff.
I think it was Art Vandelay, because he and Philly Picker and Mike, they all do a listing thing every week. And he was, I'm pretty sure it was Art. Well, that's not his first name. Dan, right? Dave. Art Vandelay. It's his YouTube. Huh? Matt. Dan.
Yeah, Dan is Art Vandelay.
Yeah, Dan. So he was saying that he had a lot of things that he needed to do flat lays with, and physically he can't do the flat lays. And I told him, I said, get a white sheet and put it on your bed and do your flat lays on your bed if you have good lighting in there.
Yeah, I just use the ceiling fan is good enough for a lot of the stuff. I flat lay it on my coffee table.
Yeah.
And that's brown, and then I use eBay background remover.
Yeah.
I could use just that brown, but I don't.
So he said that he did that, and it helped him immensely because he wasn't listing any of the clothing that he had found because he couldn't do it. It was too painful for him. Anyway, so he messaged me a week or so ago and said that just worked like a charm. Thank you. And so, you know, we all get so caught up in thinking how to do something that we're so busy thinking about it, we don't realize that we can just put a little blip out there and 40 other people will give you their ideas of how they do it. And one of those will work just perfect for you. So
That's right.
Yeah,
that's the wonderful thing about this community. And nobody should ever, ever, ever be afraid of constructive criticism, because that constructive criticism could take you from $100 day to a $700 day in 3 days. And I'm telling you right now, that's what happened with me.
Oh, stop it.
Sorry.
I'm not afraid to
Sharon,
take any constructive criticism. And Kat, I mean, she sells a lot. She's a wild woman. There's
and I mean,
sales,
even though if you don't
know.
take like what I say exactly, if that might put something else in your mind similar,
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think the white background looks good. It's hard to get it perfect with jeans, though. Getting it around the legs, but
yeah, that's why I use my stylist. Like, I'm obsessed with my stylist.
You gotta use a stylist for that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's impossible.
I did the white background remover on one listing, and every time I look at it, it makes me want to puke, and I'm going to go remove that white picture because that thing it's a pink Carhartt vest, and it should have already sold. I just look at that and I'm like, ugh. Anyway.
But see, everybody thinks different, and that's what makes it work, though.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find what works for you. Brad is being loud because he says we've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
okay.
So
That is true.
I have to be up at 5 for work. I'll probably get off, but like I said, both of you message me, and then before I go to bed, I'll schedule you guys on for a whole show. That way we'll get you guys on for more.
Hey, Craig, land shark picker.
Hi, Craig. Bye, Craig.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Bye, everybody.
So everybody, Richard has dropped the ladies' link.
I didn't get a chance to say hi to everybody, but
Get out of my
Just leave Brad on and I'll go to sleep. Brad can come on and chat with you.
Bring it back, Ren, right now.
I have 120.
You did.
No,
We're having candy issues here.
Uh-oh.
Look, he's alive.
Halloween.
Yes,
candy.
come on, Brad. Hey, there we go.
Hi, Brad.
Where, Brad?
You should be in on part of this. Come on, you're part of the situation. I don't mean that in a bad way. Just think about it. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have Dalton for excitement in some of the videos. Yeah.
And a YouTube channel too.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the muscle that helps Kat get all of the cool things like her dresser that sold. Yeah. You always
And
gotta
all
have
the
somebody.
t-shirt she steals from you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
I got my husband's t-shirt on
she's
today.
talking about me wearing your shirts. Look, he's like,
I can never find a shirt you can wear.
this pink shirt is not his shirt. Just saying.
No,
I have my
not
shirt
the
on
pink
tonight.
shirt.
He
But
would look good in it though. You would rock that shirt, Brad.
Our husband's shirts are comfortable, is what I have to say. Because this is my husband's shirt. I can't believe he was this little.
Listen, I probably have like 20 shirts now. I just went to Walmart and bought a bunch of like the 6-pack of shirts or whatever because like I can't keep a shirt. So. That's all I do laundry like 3 times a week. I try to buy a bunch of shirts.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Right,
Brad's running away. Look, I think that's the most he's been on camera ever. Good job, Noel.
That was good.
Thanks, Brad. Come back again.
He's eating mullet dip that our friends gave him. So,
Well, we just had to butcher a rooster, so it's in the oven. We had
Angela,
a meat.
I will say, like, and I have never bought any of like the packets or stuff. Just FYI for everybody, I have not ever purchased any, like bolo lists or selling lists. That's my personal preference, and it changes a lot. But I will say, like, if you have to be willing to put the time in, because a lot of that stuff, people are just like compiling all this information from tons of places into one thing. So it's whether you want to pay for it. Oh, Gateway's saying Tommy and Tracy are waiting on me, but I haven't seen either one of them even say hello in the chat. Tommy and Tracy, if you're listening. And I mean, I kind of know why. And I will say, Tommy, I do appreciate you behaving this evening by not speaking a lot. So I want to get that out there.
They didn't say anything because neither one of them came to my live this morning, and they don't want to apologize for it.
I'm just glad that they didn't. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that because I do I do know them and some of their thoughts. But
yeah,
I appreciate everybody coming.
We'll leave that for his channel.
These ladies, yeah, we'll leave that for Tommy's show. Now I'm gonna have to go in there and listen to him talk about me. Well, subscribe to both these ladies and Julian if you have not, and I'm gonna get both these ladies scheduled on for a full show, and I will have a video out tomorrow
on me.
And I'm giving away my 2 masks. So look, my mask came in. Did you guys see? Noelle in the top. Look, isn't that cool?
It would be cooler if it had been made by Farm Girl Scavenger. Let me just put that out there.
Are you gonna make one with my logo?
If you're gonna have the fabric printed and sent to me, yeah. But I don't
can't do that.
Well,
all right.
You
they
can
said they
too.
subbed to you guys. No,
you can too.
That's too much work. All right, you guys. Let me find the. Hold on. Let me find this link and drop it before we get off here.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Let's find it.
We're just too much fun.
Where is it? Why can I not find it? I don't see it scheduled.
Thanks, Gateway. What are you finding, Tommy's?
I was trying to find Tommy's thing for today, or maybe he's just gonna go live.
Anybody? No, he put a thing up. He put a thing on it about it's something reseller. Let me see if I can find it. It was reseller.
I don't see it. Gateway, do you have a link to Tommy and Trace? Oh, there we go. Tommy, I appreciate you not speaking tonight, my friend, as much as I love to hear you talk.
Tommy, I love you. I love you, Tommy.
I love Tommy too.
We'll be there shortly.
Not of the mouth, Tommy. Not of the mouth tonight, though. I appreciate the muting of that. But I am going to end this, guys. Go over to Tommy and Tracy's live, and we will see you guys over there. Bye, guys.